Well, we're looking at Camp 103. That picture was taken in 1947-48. I think there was 22 running at the same time. Camp 103 was built in 1945 by 105 prisoners of war and about 45 civilians. The camp was abandoned in 1952. This picture is just across the lake from the bunkhouses. There you have the two stables, the filer's shack, blacksmith shop, and a couple of other buildings there. Okay, that's the cook. The cookery is the scaler's shack, and just beyond that was the guard's shack. 3 of the cookery staff prisoners at Camp 103. The chap in the middle, Herbert Ertl, came back to Canada in 1996, and he had his wife with him, and he wanted to go back to the camp, and we went in by helicopter supplied by Eddie Forest Products. We looked around until we found that door in what was left of the building. We took another picture. Oh, he was delighted. Well, the first Christmas, I stayed in the camp. They were going to change guards. The guards, we were about almost 8 hours because of the train schedules. Guards went out, got on the train, and later on, the train coming the other way brought the new guards. And I saw a lot of activity going on around the guard shack. Some of the prisoners coming out of the kitchen and going up there. So finally I went up. Here they had the guns all out on the table. They were looking them over and just wanted to see what kind of guns we had. They were just the ordinary guys, just like us. That's Bill Blight. He was over there, and it looks like he's going to town or just got back from town. I think he has a tie on. This picture is taken in 47-48 sleigh loads of logs from either Camp 103 or 104. The sleighs have ruts in the ice road, but they're being pulled by the trucks. The truck is hauling 5 sleigh loads. It was a 1943 Ford RCAF crash wagon, which was later converted to become the fire trucks at the mill in Espanola. I know one army truck that we had went through the ice and they just couldn't get it out, and apparently it's still there. There, it's tea time for Alec McConnell and Bill Blight. There's a nice little fire going, and just a string of sleighs coming back to Camp 103 for another load. That camp was a smaller camp with a contractor from Sturgeon Falls named Simeon Bois. I think they had a gang of about probably 45 men. This device was for cutting ruts in the ice road, and somewhat like a sharp plow. You have one on both sides. Well, everything had to be brought up to Sheehan on the railroad. You couldn't drive the trucks in. There was no road. At Sheehan, a crane operated by Russ McNichol was used to cast the logs over a high bank. It was quite a high bank. This resulted in a huge jam, and in the spring, we had to get either 1 or 2 rail cars of dynamite to get the damn stuff going. We're at the Cartier area around 1950. They're transferring from the sleighs to trailers. The jammer has a gas engine in it, so it's getting a little more modern. They take that down to Spanish Lake, which is just a part of the Spanish River. They made the dump right out on the ice, and they have a cable around underneath the load before they put it on. Truck just walks away, leaves the load laying on the ice. Camp 101 at Cartier area, The car was driven by Al Supple, who was the logging superintendent. Here we're into a typical camp cookery in the late 40s. You couldn't keep people if they didn't have a good cook. This is 1948, Camp 6 under construction on the West Branch. Camp 8 in 1949, it's the cookery and the 2 bunkhouses. 3 buildings are still standing. They were sold to the MNR and they used them for junior rangers and stuff like this. The contractor was Clint Martin, that's the guy under the telephone, and sub-foreman is Delphis Pepe, and Bill Blight, so he took the picture. And that guy who's leaning over is Jim Carmichael. He's loading from the skidway by hand onto the sleighs, and then they'll haul it to the Agnes River, and it will be floated down to the Spanish River in the spring. There's a few, very few chainsaws, mostly buck saw. That's Carmichael and his partner just coming up to the crazy wheel. That's Delphis Papa running the crazy wheel. You see there's two cables coming out of it. And here they are, the same guys, all loaded up and coming out. And they're on a mountain, so they'll be let down with the crazy wheel. You wouldn't have got a big truck up that hill. That's construction, Cinnamenda Dam, going into the Agnes River. 1948. Nice team of horses up there. There's another picture where the sluiceway is. And that's the little sawmill at Camp 1. And at that time they were cutting for the Cinnamenda Dam. It's just a bulldozer with an outlet on the back that will run the saw. It's just a small sawmill. During the winter sleigh haul, logs were dumped over the bank of the river. Here the crews are watering the last of the wood, which was not released by the spring freshet. The boat itself, they were made in Pembroke. They were 1-inch white pine on the sides and 1.5 inches on the bottom. Those boats are 36 feet long. They're fairly heavy. You jam in the middle of the river, getting out and getting it moving again. That's wet. Some guys just have rubber boots on, but most have cork boots. I'm just saying working the jams was hard, wet, and cold work. That's a crew of 9, and I don't know why they have that 9th guy. They call him a rubber man, and I don't know what his function is. We're leaving the elbow south of Cartier. The motorboat operator is Emile LaRose. The foreman is Lawrence McRae in that light jacket. Fred Commanda with the paddle, and Ernie Marion in the bow. And that's Euclid Shank, and he was at the Graveyard Rapids. And that's Ernie Marion running the pointer through the big graveyard. As soon as they could get in the water, they want to be in there on the spring freshet. In the 60s, they were coming all the way from Duke Lake, but they had scows. Would sleep in tents, and they slept right on the boat. So I think I had the blanket boat, and I had about 50 boxes of dynamite in the boat, and we were going to camp right there. And we came to where they had a jam in the middle of the river, and just as I came around the corner, they had yelled. They had some dynamite, and they were dynamiting the thing. And here I am right beside it with 50 boxes. But we didn't. We never carried the caps in the same boat as the dynamite. On that drive, they blew a jam right in front of the cookery. Just one log went through the roof. I shot a porcupine up at Spanish Lake, and it was right in the camp. And Dugas said, "I'll cook it for supper." I said, "Porcupine?" "Yeah." And he fixed it up just like a chicken. It was really good. Somebody asked the cook, "What is that? Is that turkey or something?" "How can you get turkey?" "Oh, it's porcupine." Oh, it was good though. That's what I call the blanket boat. It has the tents and the guys' packsacks, and see, there's one bed, and that's for the cook. Everybody else sleeps on the ground. Cook is Albert Dugas, third from the left. Fred Commanda is fourth from the left, and Ernie Marion's in the bow. The little guy, I don't know his name. I couldn't remember it. The last few miles of the Spanish above the bow boom is slow water. Here the pointers, loaded with camp supplies, are being towed by a motorboat. Bow boatman is Sam Commanda. On the second boat on the right, there's a little old guy standing up. There's one guy unhooking or something, and then the little guy standing up. And he is Fred LaPlante from Massey. He was about 75 years old, about 100 pounds, and he could do anything with the best of them. Steel winch boat on Lake Agnew. These were used to make up booms of pulpwood to be towed to High Falls by the tug KV. I started at Camp 103 in December 1945. I was a clerk in the office. I was 16.